Right, believe it or not, guys, this is actually a real life episode that's now live across all of our platforms. It does exist, this show. We've actually done one.
We're back.
You.
What an average start.
Fuck me. Start that again. I was just half listening to that. I was just at the corner of my eyes on my phone. I was listening to that, and I was suddenly like something peaked on it.
No. Maybe there's a new rule for 2025. It is no matter how shit the intro is, we have to carry it through to the sign off.
Yeah, true. Aren't we doing it's one take only, no?
Yeah, it's one take. It's unfiltered. 2025. It's the year of unfiltered. And
so we are back, and actually it's a good show. And it's a show that's been brought again by our friends at NordVPN.
That's exactly right, Bills. They are so ecstatic that we're back. They've given us an exclusive deal for all our listeners. You can grab your exclusive NordVPN deal by going to nordvpn.com/social distance to get a huge discount off your NordVPN plan and plus 4 additional months on top. It's completely risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee, Bills.
Nice. It's always good.
Guys,
the show's actually, George. The show's actually quite funny, so just suffer through that. Enjoy the show.
They are good to us, though.
Yeah,
they are.
Yeah.
Like you know,
they're better to us than we are to them. Put it that way.
Well, my dad's activated a plan. He loves it.
Yeah. I use Nord and it's good, but I think they might hate us after not putting
the
episode out.
To do one more show in June. We're doing it in February 2025. So.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for your support.
Let's just run the intro and wing it like we always do and see what comes out of it.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Front kick.
Just getting bored and dance move chat.
My radar's going pretty hard at the moment. I think we should.
Will you shut up, man?
That escalated quickly.
We're going to need to get some more qualified guests on this show, eh?
I got an idea for a new T-shirt. We should just get stamped across the front of Social Distance Podcast T-shirt saying, "Well, it's been a while, boys."
Yeah. And then on the back is, when are you doing another pod?
Yeah. Do you guys ever watch that intro and go, "Fuck, I wonder where that hoodie's gone"? Like there was a couple of shirts in there. I went, they've just disappeared from my life. I got no idea where they went. Like there's a really nice hoodie. I was wearing one of them, and I went, "Fuck, I reckon it was the last time I saw that hoodie."
Well, we must be approaching 5-year anniversary, 20 episode anniversary or something.
Yeah, double digits.
But we almost are 5 years. Be 5 years in a couple of months.
Well, you guys, the people out there that got a new episode, they can thank the build up of passive aggressive emails in our inbox saying, "You owe the sponsors this many more episodes," and eventually the tone started changing from, "Hey guys, just wondering when the next episode is," to, "Guys, we need another episode."
Yeah, and I stuffed up by over promising and definitely under delivering.
Jonesy,
you're better off being honest, hey George.
The amount of times my heart has sunk just when I see an email of an inbox like, "Hey guys, any idea when the next episode is?" And then Jonesy reply "Yeah, mate, we're going to crack one out tonight." I'm like, what?
Well, we did play golf a couple of weeks ago, and after the round, I said, "Hey, Bills, you're not racing tomorrow. Should knock a potty out tonight." And you gave me this look of like a toddler that just shit its pants. Like this fear come over you, and you're like, "Oh!" And then you get the neck scratch. When you get the neck scratch and the brain's sinking, it's like it's no. So I was like, "This isn't good." And then I said, "Do you reckon GB will be up for it?" And then I got the neck scratch and the nose.
He starts giving it 2 hands, giving it this one. Like, fuck.
It was the neck scratch, nose tilt. And he goes, "Oh, I don't reckon, eh?" And I was just like, "You don't need to say anymore, mate. We're toast."
No, I didn't even ask GB. I was probably just passing the buck. Like, "Oh, no, George won't be up for it."
Yeah.
George is definitely not up for it.
He's got a race in 4 days. He can't do it pod.
No.
He just needs to chill. He's definitely not up for it.
Yeah. That was the vibe I got.
Yeah. Anyway.
Hey, what's been happening, boys, since we spoke in August last year?
Yeah, how was Christmas?
It's good. It's good. Geez, the year's gone quick so far, though. I feel like I'm becoming an old man. Like I'm always talking about the weather to people. I'm always talking about how young kids, they're just fried, attention spans a shot, and how quick the year's going.
You know what I've noticed was, that they are the three sort of foundations of becoming old, those conversation topics. As an old rider, the things that it's like I'm starting to notice that I'm getting old is that, like, the first one was, hey, can you be the CPA weather guy? And I went, fuck, that's never a good sign. The CPA weather guy is always the older bloke, and you go, they don't give that to a young up and comer, do they? Like so that Jones is giving me a blank look, like, what the fuck is it? It says CPA, like the extreme weather protocol. So I'm in the race. Yeah. They decide, like, I think there's a new rule, 3 of you have to decide, and they cancel the race, whatever. But then the other one's like when you start commenting on, like, man, these young kids, and if you ever say the line, young kids, they just don't have respect anymore in the bunch. And as soon as the only people I've ever heard say that are like older people. So like old riders, like in the last few years. No, so I almost said it, and I went, actually, I'm worse than them. So,
well, you'd be shithouse with the cold weather protocol. They'd be pulling the pin on races when it hits 10.
Anything in single digits, I'm fucking on the radio, like, boys.
That's it.
That's why they had you for Cadell's, because it was 42 degrees, and they're like, oh, George won't stop it in 42. It's probably still too cold for him.
I had some guy today, so I went riding today in New Zealand. Speaking of weather and all this stuff, it's been like an outrageously bad summer. Like, I've never seen anything like it. Climate change is real. Rains every day. So, like, I'm waking up and fuck, it's raining again. And it sort of clears up. And Caitlin's was over the hill, out the valley. And she said, oh, it's actually all right over here. Don't worry. Like, just take a vest. So I take a vest, I start riding, and it just pisses down for 2 hours. I'm fucking cold. Shorts on, arm warmers, and a vest, and I'm fucking freezing. Cold. The sun does come out eventually. And then I'm like,
colder than a summer rain shower, eh?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Grim. So anyway, I was finally warmed up. I did my efforts, finally warmed up, and I'm at the shop having a custard slice and a Coke. And this bloke walks up to me, and he just starts chatting about cycling, and he's like, oh, yeah. How you dealing with this heat, mate? Must be tough out there. And I'm looking at him going like, fuck is wrong with you? You're trying to tell me that it made 20 degrees and he's going on about how hot it is. I'm sitting there still, like, wet shoes, like fucking shivering, trying to warm up.
Is that your go-to at a cafe, like custard slice and a Coke combo?
Yeah, New Zealand it is. Custard slice. Fuck, they slap. They're really good.
We call them vanilla slices in Australia, or snot blocks.
Yeah, slightly different over there, though.
Why?
Yeah, they are a bit different.
Oh, they got vanilla essence in them.
But also the Australian ones I find are a bit more, like, the structural integrity of them's not what I'm after with a custard slice. Like, a custard slice is when it, like, you kind of want it, like, to fall in the bag. Like, it's custard, whereas yours is, like, real hard and flaky. And
it's like a house brick.
Yeah, shit house.
They take it real serious over here. Like, they've got the best vanilla slice awards, and that's how you sort of generally.
Is that your equivalent of our pie?
Well, yeah, it's like what gauges a good bakery is how's their vanilla slice, and then if they can't get the vanilla slice right, then the rest is no good.
We didn't quite do that. Daryl and I normally try and do the pie tour at the Tour Down Under this. When we go, like, every day in the feed zone, get a pie, but we actually dropped the ball a bit this year. We did a couple of pies in the recons, and then only Wollonga's.
You stopped when we stopped for a coffee one day before the race. Jules rolls out of the thing. Did you have 3 sausage rolls? Did you just go in and buy? There was 3 sausage rolls in your radler, and you just were like, "Give me one of each."
Oh, that was the recon day. No, 2. Yeah. Well, I couldn't decide because they had the Ureda bakeries. It's up there, and I couldn't decide between the leek and pork or something, or leek and lamb.
Fucking
or something.
Riveting chat this is.
There's like 2 other rolls, and I couldn't decide, so I got 2.
Yeah, but remember there was a big drama last year when you stopped for a pie and you're in between the race was about a minute down the road and you had the leader's jersey. Yeah. And you made the call to just let it go. There was a drama and you stayed for the pies.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right.
Yeah. So we've learned from that.
Yeah.
We're in that position this year, eh?
No. Well, the beauty of last year on the last stage is we could actually stop quickly because we were car 1, but this year we were car 17. So it was, if we stopped, we were risking leaving the convoy.
Is it still? Yeah, I don't know how I feel yet about like joking about how much Tour Down Under didn't go our way.
Yeah,
but I'm getting there. I'm getting there. It hurt though. It fucking hurt this year.
At a certain point, you've got to start to joke. Although,
it fucking hurt my old man. He loaded up on Stevie Wonder for the overall.
Oh,
I gave the old, how's he traveling, boys? Yeah, everything I'm playing. Oh yeah.
But no, do you know what it was? Like, on a serious note, like, do you know what it emphasized is the level of professional cycling these days and how hard it is to win after you've won, you know, to keep winning, especially to back up, to win the same race 2 years in a row. And like, you know, we always hear it from Daryl, like, good bike riders win Down Under once, but great bike riders win twice, because he did it twice 2 years in a row. But there's it's like, it really showed how hard it is to do, especially when you go there with a target on your back. And like, and the team we had, you know, like obviously we had the defending champion, but then we had like a team that, like, you walked into the food hall before the race started, and everyone's like, "Shit, you guys have got a strong team here." And it's like,
we took an A-team off. Yeah. But do you know what's also, I think, Down Under is particularly hard to win, because it's one of those things. It's like such narrow margins. It's like sprint bonuses. It's like, you know, it's often just like, you know, anything goes wrong. Whereas, say over like Catalonia, if you're out of position on the bottom of the climb's 20K, you'll get to the front if you've got the legs. If you're going to win it, you're going to win it in a way, you know, like in these really selective, hard races. Whereas Down Under comes down to like an intermediate sprint here, or count back on bunch positions and this and that. And it's all down to these like 3-minute moments or 20-second moments, Romo clipping off the front, or, you know, all these tiny little things. And like, to get that right twice, like, as much as I hate to say it, shows Daryl was like, you know, he was really on winning back to back. And Gero did it too, didn't he?
Well, the other takeaway is, given how they're all 3-minute moments, it even reinstates even more. You should not stop for pies. Like, if it was a Tour of Catalonia, you can stop for a pie. You'll get the car back. But anyway.
Yeah. But no, it's true. And like Down Under, it's like if you don't get like pretty much if you don't get like the 30 seconds right at the top of Willunga, you don't win Down Under either.
Yeah.
You know? Like, in some senses, okay, Stevie won it last year and he didn't win on Willunga, but he was second. But like, if you just falter a little bit in that period and you lose like 2 seconds or 3 seconds, you can't win Down Under. It's actually quite a complex race in like a lot of simple ways. It's a hard race to win. There's no doubt about it. And because especially now in cycling, because of the type of rider that wins Down Under is, you know, somebody who can climb well. He can climb exceptional over 5 to 10 minutes, and he can also win from a 20-man's group. You know, those are the guys who win Down Under. But there's a lot of them. In cycling.
I would say it's almost the most common type of rider.
Almost.
You know, the guy that can do a 5-minute. It was like there was one stage there where we, I think Welsford won. He came back. It was the Tanunda stage, and we ripped up this hill. It was like a 6-minute climb or something, and then it was 20K to the finish. And we tore up there, and I was looking around at the top going, shit, there's like, it must have been like, I don't know, 70 guys left at the top or 80 guys left at the top. I was looking around going like, this must be the power bracket where the most amount of guys can do it, because it's just, there was so many guys left. We went so hard. And then maybe if it was like 4 minutes longer, we could have been 20 guys. Yeah. But like that 5 to 7 minutes is just like right in the sweet spot, and then all of those guys seem to be quite fast, except for me.
Yeah, and the same thing on the stage to Victor Harbour, stage 4. When you lit it up, the whole team lit it up on that climb, and okay, that climb's not that long; it's like 2.5 minutes or something.
It was 3.5 minutes. 3.5 minutes.
But like again, like you guys went up there like fucking warp speed, and okay, the group was relatively small at the top, but the gaps to the groups behind were like so small that it was all of a sudden it was 80 guys again, you know. And like you say, like if you need that climb you need like 6, 7, 8, 9 minutes now to get rid of fast guys, and even then it's still not easy. There's still a lot of guys that fit that mold.
Yeah.
Well, I won't name the director, right, out of respect. But one thing that I can't get my head around is the modern day role of the director, how much it's changed in that. This guy was telling me that after one of the races, his process is he has to do a 30-minute WhatsApp call to dissect the race and the tactics. And then that gets listened to by 30 people.
Oh, like a voice note.
He does a voice note.
Voice note first. That goes out to a whole heap of people.
My thumb would get sore holding that down for 30 minutes.
Mate, and then they analyze all of that and then work out the strategy, and then they grill him about, well, do you think that your strategy was right, pulling the brake back when you did, and all this sort of shit. And they could have pulled a result. They could have run second on that thing, but it's analyzed to the point where he then has to do a full report, like type it all up as well. This is after every day. And if you do, like, imagine doing a grand tour where you're so fucking fried at the end of it. And also, I've been banging on about this for years, that cycling is so different to other sports. Like if you're in a stadium sport and you're a manager, you can see all the pieces of the puzzle. You can make the moves in real time. Half the time on races as a director, you're fucking 20 cars back. Your TV's on delay. Your minute moments like that you can make a call is really up to the riders. Like you brief them, know the conditions. You're there for support if shit hits the fan. But, oh, man, that would do my fucking head in if I had to go through that amount of – where's the feel gone? Where's the old school like –
Well, it's impossible. It's impossible to call – like a sprint finish is an example of it, you know, where you can see what's happening. If you're watching it on TV, you know, you can see like, okay, this team's moving on the right. You can see the pieces of the puzzle. And we can see that from the car sometimes. Sometimes the reception's so shit that it doesn't work. But even if it is working, like we were looking at Down Under, and we were basically 1K behind. The TV coverage was 1K behind the race the whole time. So it's impossible to call a race on the radio from what you're seeing on TV. You can't do it. By the time you say like, "Oh, George, go on the left," mate, the fuck, that was 1K ago. You know? And then he goes on the left then, and then you want him to go on the right then.
Yeah, so like
exactly. It is funny, like the role of a director now, though, is like if you're looking at Super Bowl, right, or NFL. So the quarterback's got an earpiece to the manager, to the team manager, coach, and he's calling all the plays. He's seeing it in 4D. He's looking this. Obviously, there's an element of like there's communication breakdowns. There's this, the players have to think for themselves, but it comes down a lot to the coach making calls, right? But then, there is calls from a director in a car, and we're going to do this, we're going to do this. There is that snapshot decision. There is that time you're like, okay, brakes up the road, guys, we're going to do this. But like so much of the modern director now is actually like, even like outside of the race, like creating this environment, creating this group that works together. It's moving a lot of it. This whole new element of like the psychology of it is like, you know what I mean? Picking guys up when they're down, building a team. So much of that now is just that's the new like key thing. And then when we get on the bike, the guys are happy, they make good decisions. It's like this trickle on effect now. It's so much more than just making calls.
Yeah. Who's that guy who's the soccer coach who comes from a totally different background? What's that show called?
Ted
Lasso.
Lasso.
Do you reckon I could be the Ted Lasso of cycling? Like never ridden, never done anything, doesn't know whatever. But if what George is saying, and it's all about giving guys a rev up, getting them motivated, backing your riders, there could be something in this.
You make little motivational montages on the bus.
Yeah, but just empower everyone.
Just
I'm
play
not
any
an
given
expert.
Sunday every morning before the race.
I know how to give bottles. I could
Like,
drive.
guys, we're going to arrive 2.5 hours early today so we can watch any given Sunday before we go to sign on.
That's right. I don't know what to say, really. Remember when we tried to motivate George one time with a montage and he told us to fuck off? Because that shit doesn't work. You were flat about 3 years ago, and we thought, I know what'll fix it.
You know what it is, though? Like, you can't be motivated for that long because, like, you get G'd up and then you're like, yeah, fuck yeah, let's go. You step out on the bus and then it's like a 4K neutral and then it's like 150K until you get the front.
Yeah. That's a real funny thing. And, like, where I don't know if struggle's the right word, but, like, I find it challenging at Down Under when the pre-race meetings are generally in the evenings. And
you didn't want to like fire the boys up too much.
Because like I like to kind of get the boys G'd, but then you're like, all right, guys, enjoy dinner. You know, it's like
he's just got us G'd, like, boys, tomorrow we're gonna fucking rip their legs. All right, have a good sleep, guys. And then everyone's just lying in bed like, yeah.
Why can't you do it at the start, like an hour before?
Because you're in a zoo at Down Under.
Yeah, mate, you can't do it. Like, you're in a van and it's literally a zoo. Like, you're in these narrow streets with all the vans parked wrong, and there's just people going like, when's the next podcast, guys? Fucking hell. Shit bloke. You know?
What I do, so this is the Ted Lasso approach. I'd take your team to the crowd on the fence there, get them in a huddle, maybe link up a couple of punters over the fence and just fucking give them a ripper every day. And then other teams will be going, geez, what are they doing over at Israel Premier Tech? That's different. And then you've got the rev up for the neutral.
I wonder if how the team huddle would go in cycling. Like,
I thought about this a lot. Like, there is a moment in my career I want it to be. Maybe it would be like the last day of a Grand Tour, and you're defending the jersey, and this, and you know, I would love to see it one day. Like, all right, boys, bring it in.
Yeah, why don't you do it when you get to like the Grandies? Why don't you, just before you leave the bus, break the routine?
No, do it on the start line.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
when everyone can see.
For stadium sports, that's how it is essentially.
Yeah,
you know?
the link up, or just all get on the not the front row, the row behind. Have all your riders lined up, linked up. This is like an intimidation thing.
It's like a haka. We could do a haka for the New Zealand national team.
It's a Kiwi version of the cycling. It's the.
I think I've told this. I've told this story before, but when I was playing footy at school, rugby, so we were shit, and we were getting absolutely humped, and it was like literally like 70-20 or something. We're playing Nelson boys, and you know, like when they score, you're behind the try line. You have a little huddle, like, fuck, what are we gonna do? And I remember one of my good mates was the captain at this moment, and like we were just getting absolutely pants. And then like we get into the huddle, and he's like, he knows because he's the captain. He's trying to be like motivational. He's like, "Come on, guys, we can still do this, right?" And then everyone started laughing, going, "Fuck up, Mitch. What are we doing tonight?" At some point, you know, it's like we're 7-0 down.
In 2001, I was playing in a preliminary final for St. Paul's, and our coach was about 70. And any given Sunday, AFL or local Aussie rules. And I remember I played that any given Sunday speech to the coach. I'd only just grabbed it. It was brand new, and he's like, "Jesus Christ, Jonesy, fucking that'll get the boys going. Do you mind if we play it?" I said, "Absolutely." And so we played it. Guys got revved up. We got beaten by 98 points. Got absolutely pumped. And then afterwards, all the boys were going, "Fucking good speech." Jeez.
We were playing in front of the school one day. My coach at the time walked in with with like the old boom boxes, but with a tape deck one. I said, "Oh, something for the boys." And before we get out, play Tom Petty, "I Won't Back Down." And then everyone's looking at each other like, "Yeah, fuck yeah."
Yeah.
bit of yacht rock to go out to fucking.
Here's a quick little rabbit hole. What's the best motivational speech that you've had in cycling that actually did have an effect throughout a stage? Where's a moment that you can think? I can think of one in the bus with you, Bills, because I went down a backstage rabbit hole the other day. And that was when Chavez needed to make up a minute 20 to Contador in the penultimate day of the Vuelta in 2016.
Yeah.
And they did the team meeting, and they're like, okay, well, we can defend our position. Don't take too many risks, because if you blow up, you could finish 6th or 7th. Or do we go for it? And Chavez said, hey, guys, I didn't come here to not have a go. I say, fuck it. We go all in. We go for it. And I remember Bewley just stood up at the front of the bus and he goes, fuck yeah, come on. And then the whole bus just erupted. And that was sustainable because there was a commitment. Everyone bought in. You knew it was going to be a prig of a day. But, yeah, that was one of the best rev ups I've seen pre-start of a race.
Jules does a really good pre-race talk, a good level of, like, let's kill them, but let's also use our heads. In terms of, like, an aggressive, like, all my time on Jumbo was so, like, analytical and, like, emotionless in that way. Like, there was, like, but one thing they, like, you know, it was very, like, process this science, you know, so there wasn't a whole lot of that. But there was one thing they did that was really cool, was before we started the Tour de France, is without us knowing, they had, like, got all these support messages from all the family and all, you know, all these videos, all my nieces and nephews and stuff that all sent in these messages, and they play this big
that's cool
thing. And I was like, oh, that was quite, like, got me G'd up. But then it was for 3 weeks, and you're after 4 days, you're fucked and you forget about it, and, you know.
Yeah, I heard a story of the Richmond Football Club before the grand final in 2019. The coach went into the room and had all these rocks on the table with numbers on them, and every player's number was on a rock. And everyone's like, "What the fuck's going on?" You know, coaches always thinking and stuff. And he goes, "This rock might not look like something, but all year our motto was breaking the rock, like one little bump at a time with a pickaxe and just chipping away at the rock." And this is what it's come down to, guys. So what I want you to do is go away and write a message on that rock for all the people that you're playing for today. Think of your kids, your family, and all that sort of stuff. We're going to put that rock away. And then at the end, when we are victorious and we win the premiership, I want you to keep that as a keepsake to symbolize the whole season. So he started a message at the start of the year, and then at the very end, I mean, he's lucky they made the grand final. Otherwise, it would have been a rock pull at the local tip. But I thought that was a pretty powerful message. And the players even today say it's one of the most precious keepsakes they've got of their career.
That's what the South African rugby team did, remember, at the World Cup? And I don't know if you've seen a documentary about them.
Oh, so he stole that idea.
And, well, yeah, Rassie Erasmus, he's like, they did the same thing. They had, like, on their shirts, they had all the people they were playing for on their shirts. So, like, you know, like, the green shirt, but the back of it was like yellow writing the whole way down, like small writing, like I'm playing for this person or this person, this person, this person. And then Cheslin Colby, the winger, he had nothing on his shirt. And then like, this is when like Rassie Erasmus just breaks down when he's talking about it. He's like, says to Cheslin Colby, like, why have you got no one on your shirt? And he's like, because I haven't got anybody. I'm alone. Like, I've got no family. Like, and it was like, apparently it was just like this in the room, this like powerful moment where they're all like, oh, fuck it, mate, we're playing for you then. And then they're like, one World Cup, beat the All Blacks.
That's awesome.
Pricks.
Yeah. And then I was sad. So.
Yeah. They didn't play for me, the fuckers.
Yeah. Fucking write my name on his shirt.
I wish he just had a handful and they would have got rolled.
Yeah. If only he had, it's like my theory. If only he had a loving
like the
childhood.
Or something.
Yeah.
The neighbour did.
Do you know? This is a real strange story. I met some bizarre people on my ride today, but like nice people. But man, just for some reason today was just one of those weird, like full of really weird interactions. Every time I'd stop, some bloke would come out. Anyway, this lady came out and said to me, she said, "Oh, you're George Bennett, aren't you?" I said, yeah. She said, "Yeah. Oh, when you were a kid, you grew up next to me in this place." I said, "Oh, yeah." She said, "I just wonder, How did you it's amazing that you've made it this far because with just like parents that hated cycling, and I was like,
hang on.
I looked at her and went, what? Oh, I just I just didn't think that because my mum and dad were neighbours with them, and just like parents that hated cycling, and I thought, I don't think they hate cycling. They just don't ride a bike. Yeah, but they're not really into it, are they? And I was like, oh, well, I don't know. Like they watch me and stuff, and they were really, really, pretty awesome when I was growing up. But, yeah, but it's just really, makes me scratch my head that you could do this. And obviously, this is like some neighbor that had like a fallout with my parents,
Oh yeah,
just
trying to get in your head.
And then the whole way home, I was like, so I got home and I said to Dad, I said, oh, I met this lady today, and I said her name, and he just goes, for fuck's sake, she's still she's still alive.
What was her objective though? What was she wanting out of you for you to go? Yeah, no, you're right. I am real lucky because my upbringing was pretty shit.
But I'll tell you what, if I did have a shit upbringing and made it this far, I'd be a way better cyclist. I'd be like Kobe.
True. Yeah. You've still got enough mongrel with a good upbringing. You don't want to go full mongrel.
I don't know if you need any more.
You're mongreled out.
Yeah, that's true.
What you need is a
max
puppy.
Mongrel.
You need a puppy.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind a puppy.
In other news, I want to bring up a stereotype. About a month ago, I had some mates over and I decided to cook them dinner, and they love chicken parmas. So I said, I'll make homemade chicken parmas, and I fucked them up. Like they were soggy under the bottom. I should have cooked them.
Would you explain what chicken parma is? Because it only exists in Australia.
So it's like it's
only
the most
in country pubs in Australia.
Yeah, on a Thursday night for $12.
It's the most popular pub dish you can get. It's like a schnitzel with tomato sauce, ham, and grilled cheese. And you have it with chicken.
Oh, it's a cordon bleu. Chicken cordon bleu.
Like that, yeah, but we call them chicken parmies.
Is it parmy or parma?
Parma. Or palmy. Yeah, I don't know.
Isn't that like
Parmesan cheese?
No, not parmesan cheese, like cheese, but they call them a chicken parmigiana. But I think
it must be parmesan cheese.
Well, you can put parmesan cheese on it. Anyway, I made these fucking parmies. And they were soggy, they were shit.
North.
What cheese did you use?
I don't know, pizza cheese or something.
Pizza cheese? The fuck is pizza cheese?
You can get pizza cheese here. It's like a blend.
Mozzarella?
No, it's a blend of like fucking Parmesan, mozzarella.
Well, that's not pizza cheese. You wouldn't put Parmesan on a pizza.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got the cheese on it, but where I fucked up, I didn't realize it till the next day, is I suffer from a condition that most old sailors used to get called gout.
Scurvy.
I get gout, and I really want to raise awareness for gout because it does attack younger audiences. I first got gout at the tour in 2013. I reckon I woke up one day and I thought that I dropped a house brick on my foot.
It's from eating clams or something, no? Like eating shellfish.
Pizza cheese.
It's a number of factors. I think diet does play a part. Not looking after yourself, tick. People that eat a lot of rich foods and shit get it, but it's fucking horrible. Like it is so painful, and only people that suffer from gout know the pain. So if you've got a mate that suffers from gout and you tell them, like most people laugh and give you shit, but if someone suffered for it, it's straight into this network of support. Like, hey mate, you got some culture scene? Hey, what do you need? Like, oh shit, when was your attack? How long did it last? And then all these.
Wait, so is it like a reoccur? Is it like herpes? Once you've got it, it just. No, really. Like once you've got herpes, you've got it for life. Is it the same with gout?
Yeah,
like it's just in you, and it flares up.
It's arthritis' version of herpes. Yes, like it flares up, and you've got to avoid shit. But I'm not meant to eat cherry tomatoes, and on these parmesanas, I had cherry tomato paste. So I've had like the equivalent of 500 of the bastards, and no shit, my ankle blew up to the size of a balloon, and I went to Gumby World with I had the kids the next day, and I thought, we'll take them to Gumby World. You know, they're all amped up and G'd. Mate, I couldn't walk out of the car. I was like a cripple. Like skipping like my ankle, and the kids wanting to see animals and that, and I'm sweating it up, going, I've got to try something. I'm taking all these anti-inflammatories. Then we go on those river, like the paddle sort of loop things where you get the tire. So I'm just sitting in that tire doing laps for an hour trying to numb the pain. It just got worse. I had to bail after
it's
like
only in your feet, or it's the elbow or something.
You can get it. I get it in like in my big toe and my ankle. But I think that I want to raise awareness for arthritis' version of herpes. It does affect young people. Don't make fun when anyone says this. I think the name.
It actually sounds horrific, especially because it's set off by cherry tomatoes.
Well, it's cherry tomatoes, shellfish, beer, all the good shit, wine.
But do you think it's the disease with the rarest trigger? Like, I was actually we were talking about like disease funding at the moment. There's like general medical funding. And one of the things came up was type 2 diabetes. And it's like, should treatment be funded or should you just go on a diet? Because it's basically self-inflicted. And it sounds like, I mean, there might be, I don't know enough about it. It might be that you get type 2 if you're healthy as well. But by far and away. Oh, okay. But there should be there should be a box. Is a self-inflicted type 2? Then, and a little bit like gout. Did you drink 12 beers and a box of muscle and a pack of muscles?
Use common sense. If people are trying to get funding, do you reckon they're going to go self-inflicted tick?
If there was ever
metrics.
If there's ever someone who got self-inflicted gout, it was Jonesy.
Yeah. So I think if there's,
I'm not far off you.
Well, if there's someone that is putting their hand up to be a face of a campaign, because the other thing I notice is, because I'm talking to my mates about gout a lot, they go, "Oh, what have you been up to?" "Oh, mate, I'm been, riddled with gout today, so I've been on the couch, can't move." All of a sudden, Facebook start popping up with all these ads going, "Hey, there's clinical trials for gout." Just flooded.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you gonna do a clinical trial?
Nah.
It's a stitch up, because clinical trials, 50% chance that you're in the control group where they just give you a sugar pill.
Yeah. An M&M.
Yeah, that's right.
It's going to make you gout worse.
They probably
give you a shellfish.
Maybe they do the trial where they really want to flare it up and just take tests or whatever. Yeah.
Block of parmesan, a cherry tomato, and a shellfish.
But I think the name is a shame, because the name gout sounds funny. Like, it's straight away as soon as you hear it. It's horrible. It should have been called something more serious.
Like arthritis, like to get arthritis, it's almost a bit endearing. You're like, oh, yeah, got arthritis.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because you've been working hard.
It's like arthritis is someone you'd invite for dinner. But
I also think arthritis has like a sense of, you've only got arthritis because you've been out there chopping wood. Yeah,
you've been working hard.
Whereas
you've got gout because you've been a fucking piece of shit.
That's why I think that's right. I think that's why they thought, we're not letting those gout sufferers get away with this. They could have prevented it. They chose to drink 2 bottles of red with a big fat steak, Tuesday and Thursdays. So bugger them. Like, they can cop shit for this.
But gout seems like it's massively a self-perpetuating disease, because you can't then go for a run to make it better.
That's right.
Well, when we played golf, you said, "Oh, I have to get a cart. I can't walk. I got gout." You're like limping across the greens.
And what was but your reaction wasn't like, "Oh, mate, that sounds serious shit. You're all right." It was like, "Oh, we'll flare that up." You just cop shit. Anyone you talk to, there's no sympathy. But if you had 10% of the pain I had during that flare up, there's no laughing matter. No. But I thought Bewley jagged a hole in one on our round.
Oh yeah.
I was sold on it, because in the break we had a guest on the show. Remember the guy who told the dog story about when he thought his dog was dead and he went to he dug that pit for 4 hours. He went to throw it in and went and came to life.
I was thinking about the other dog story where he took a shit behind the bush, and the lady thought it was her dog shit, so she cleaned it up.
That's right, Rufus. Anyway, Spish, we played around with him on a lads trip in November last year, and mate, it was so bad that after the first day's play, he's a left-hander. Everyone that night were having beers and like, mate, Spish, I think you're right-handed. Like seriously, like I'm 100% sure you're right-handed. Like you shouldn't be playing on the left. Do you want to use my clubs tomorrow? He's telling everyone to fuck off. Literally didn't middle a shot the entire day. He's one of those guys that goes on a golf trip that he's like, hats off to him. Like he can't play golf for shit. Good sociable, but geez, that's a long day. If you can't, you might as well tee off with a putter sort of thing. Anyway, we get to the 14th hole and we palmed him off to the front group, and then we all sort of came together. Guys had to clear out. He pulls out a 7-iron on the par 3 and flushes it. Like literally flushes this shot, like massive height. And we're all like, what are we watching? It bounces on the green, 2 bounces, plop in the hole in one. Like it is 1 in 50 million. Like this guy would have had a million shots and not get anywhere near the green, and he flushed it. It was.
I've thought about this a lot, right? Because there was where we stayed for Cadell Evans race. We stayed in a Great Ocean Road race last week. We stayed in Torquay, obviously at the golf course you were talking about. And one of the things was 10 grand to get a hole in one. It was like 120 meters. Now, would you take up these odds that this was a conversation amongst the boys. Would you've got a year to do it, to get a hole in one, as many shots as you want, all the training, all the everything. You've got a year to get a hole in one. But if you don't do it, you lose a limb. But if you do it, you get 20 million.
No.
What limb?
Their choice.
Yeah, I was going to say, if it's that left ankle that I get gout in, I'd do it if you were going to give me a slab of cans, if I got a hole in one. And you gave me a year, no worries. No worries. You cut it off. I thought about getting the bone saw out myself and have the flare up.
You start shooting the wrong way. You tee off.
Don't worry about the hole in one. Let's just get cutting. I'm fucking sick of it. I've had funny 4 flare-ups in the last month.
Oh, fuck, man.
Anyway.
That was good. But I wouldn't take it. Man, like, you think about how good the professionals are and how often they get hole-in-ones. They don't get a hole-in-one every year. Like they get hole-in-ones for sure because they're so good, but you still need, no matter how good you are, you still need an element of luck, a massive element of luck.
Well, when Spish went into the clubhouse, he like straight away, we couldn't play the rest of the day. Like we were just in shock. We literally put our clubs away and said, fuck that. You won't top the day now, let's go. Mind you, most of us were hungover anyway, and I had first signs of gout flare up. And so we went to the clubhouse and Spish walks in there. Now he's got the swagger of a professional golfer. He hasn't hit one flush all day. He walks in, he goes, hey, I just hit a bloody hole in one on your 14th. And the bloke didn't believe him because he saw him tee off on the first. And I had to show my video to prove it. And then they were all in shock. And even the pro behind the jump said, mate, I've been playing for 30 years. I've never got a hole in one. And just had this like angry look of jealousy. Like, you prick.
I saw this video with Phil Mickelson, and someone asked him how many hole-in-ones he's got. And it was like 40 or something fucking stupid.
Yeah, see, that's shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, like 40 probably.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck. But yeah, I nearly got a hole-in-one that day. We thought I had a hole-in-one. Like I had it flush. And it was like in line with the hole, and then it just like disappeared.
Yeah.
Jonesy's like, mate, that's in. And everyone's like,
yeah, I've seen one of these before.
Even
it's
like
happened
Darren
again.
Like, fuck, I think it's in. It's
Yeah.
like, I don't know. Like, I hit it well, but I don't know about that. And then, like, we're walking up, and Jonesy was filming it, and he's like, go, walk to the hole. And then I was just like, oh, it's in the bunker. Because the bunker was in front of the green, and it was like super white. So it's like disappeared, but it's disappeared. It's got camouflaged with the sand and just gone.
At that point, you just pull one out of your pocket and be like, yeah. Boys.
Well, I didn't know the guy who was playing in our golf group and goes on to win Cadell Evans' race.
Yeah, Mara, yeah.
Mara.
Mara Schmidt, yeah.
Yeah. Played golf with us. Afterwards, I'm
I
going,
would
right,
say, like, as a cycling thing, that week is like probably one of the only weeks you'd see like riders doing like things outside of bike riding. Like there's like they arrange surfing for the guys. They arrange like what's the other thing? Sailing?
Yeah,
or
sailing, chocolate making.
yeah.
Yep.
Oh, that gives you.
Yeah, they arrange all this stuff, and we flicked all the activities to go play golf. But still, like seeing people do stuff was quite refreshing, because now, like, you don't see that. You don't see people in their normal life, like you just see them at races, feet up, massage table, osteo, bed.
But if you have a week between races, and this in Europe, you do a race on Sunday and you fly home and you have another race the following Sunday. You do normal shit that week. You go and hit a golf ball, or you go and you don't do it to the same degree as the off season, but you still like it's weird.
I think you did normal stuff. I think people don't do normal stuff anymore. I think people's lives are pretty limited now.
Maybe. Yeah.
I think that's now cycling, and I also think there's the other thing is like there's a certain element of like I don't want to be seen to be doing this if I go shit on Sunday.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to I don't want them to have the option saying, "Well, mate, you played a round of golf or you were out playing cricket with the boys."
You guys had a hit, and like you did like a recovery ride in the morning, and then you all got carts, and you drove around for an hour and a half, and you played 9 holes. Like if you lose the race on Sunday, you're not losing the race on Sunday because of that. But actually, in my mind, you have a better chance of winning it because you're out there with the guys, you're having a good time, you're bonding, you're talking a bit of shit, you're relaxing, you're taking your mind off the task for at least an hour, just for an hour and a half. You're not getting stale sitting in a hotel room where you're just fucking crunching numbers and looking at training peaks and talking.
But that's a logical. That's a logical take on the situation, whereas that's not generally what happens. I mean, there was the freak out. One of my friends who's with a team full of Italians, and he wore jandals down to the buffet in the hotel, and they were just convinced he was going to get sick because he wore jandals in a room that had air conditioning in it. And you're just thinking like, you know what I mean? There's these ends that don't meet. Sometimes it's like, we're going to the wind tunnel, we're doing this. Jandals in an aircon room, you're going to get sick. And you're just like, fuck me.
Yeah, I think
I played 9 holes of golf.
Golf's fine, but if you're a rider that struggles with his skin folds and you spend 4 hours making chocolate, hang on. Yeah. You're piped on the first climb.
We'll have to do another litmus, because this year's golf game that when Jonesy and I played wasn't really a good litmus test, because it was me and Jonesy, Daryl, Shane Archibald, DS for Bora, a local guy from the club, the husband of Liz, who was running the show there. He played with us. Jeff. And then Durbo and Mauro Schmidt, they were the 2 bike riders in the group. And we played 18 and we teed off at 6:45 in the morning, and those 2 boys are there. But it's not a good litmus test because Mauro Schmidt won solo and Durbo DNF'd. So we need to do it. We're not sure.
We're not sure if it works or not. Averaged out, he finished.
But this was close to the race because I was thinking like, I'm not going to go play that. 2 days out. 6:45 a.m. Yeah. Anyway.
All right. Well, that's George's 3rd attempt to wrap the show up.
Yeah.
Some things don't change, guys.
I got to go as well. I just heard my daughter cry.
Okay. So the lesson is,
let's keep recording.
Under promise and over deliver. So we won't even say when we're going to be back here. We've fulfilled all our sponsor commitments. And
all we can say is that we will be back.
Yeah, we will be back.
Maybe.
At some point in time.
Subscribe, and you won't miss any details.
And we'll get those shirts made.
Yeah. When's the next pod?
Well, what we'll do is when's the next pod? On the front it will say, "Shit, it's been a while, boys," and on the back it will say, "When's the next pod?" And there'll be a photo of a swollen ankle.
Yeah, gout. That's it. Gout's no joking matter. All right. We'll raise money for the Gout Foundation from all proceeds. All right. Perfect.
Yeah.
All right. Good on you. Good to see you, boys.
See you later.
Like, share, subscribe.